Hello, everyone. I am Alexis Estevez, and I am your teacher. Today, we are going to do a lesson on reading music. So, some people have trouble with this, and I understand. It can be complicated, but after, just learning these easy tricks, shouldn't be that hard. You know what I mean? It's like, again, it's pretty much just figuring out where you are on a map. Once you find out where you are, if you're looking at a map, once you're like, oh, I'm in wherever, I can go north, I can go south, I can go east, I can go west. Once you find out where you are, you know where you're going. Just like a road map, music tells you the same thing. It's pretty much a road map, what sheet music is. The road map of the song. So it tells you where it goes, what notes to press, whether to go higher or lower. Those are your only two options. Is you can either go a higher pitch or a lower pitch. But again, I can understand it being complicated. They don't really tell you anything. They just show you a page like this, for example. And you're just kind of confused. You don't know what to do. And who knows what to do in this case. But I'm going to show you what to do. So, don't worry. So let's see. Okay. So I'll just show you the page again. Let's see if I got it all. Okay. So we're going to do some writing. We're going to look at this page and see what's happening here. So we have the very beginning, this. So let's try to zoom in there. What is that? Well, let me tell you. That is the key signature. It has 4 flats. So, 4 flats. What does that mean, Alexis? That's what you're asking me. Let me tell you. We look at that and we think to ourselves, oh, there are 4 accidentals, 4 notes that instead of playing a white note, any of those notes, instead of playing those notes, we have to play a note below it. So, a half step in particular. So, instead of E, we have an E flat. So, for example, it would be E. Be starting from there. Again, the key signature would be E flat, so it would be like. Oh, it's regular D, E. Oh, it's A flat is the starting. My fault. So it starts on A flat. My apologies. So again, the key signature is 4 flats. Let me show you. 4 flats, and we can tell that the key is A flat because the 3rd flat tells you the key signature when talking about flats, and flats are the ones that look like B's instead of the ones that look like tic-tac-toes. And you can tell what they're on by this little trick right here. So we have a G clef right there, right? And you can kind of see it again. I'm sorry that it's so blurry. Trying to fix it. No, it's just not. Well, whatever. There's a little line in this circle right here. And I know you can see it because I can see it through my phone. And it stands for G. This is called the G clef. Ooh, G. This is called the G clef. And it looks like a G, kind of, in a weird way. Ooh. Oh, whatever. It looks like a G in a weird way. And so the way that they signify that this clef is a G clef is by saying that the G, the key G, right, on the piano, we all know what a G is, right? Let's find it on the piano real quick. This is a, where am I? This is a C, a D, an E, an F, and a G. So it sounds like it's between the first grouping of the 3 black notes. G. So this is G. That is that note. And you can play it high, you can play it low. It doesn't really matter where you start. But in general, this G is probably right there. Because it's higher. It's treble clef. Treble clef means higher. So it's probably a little above middle C, which is right there. So that G would probably be right there. So, again, you can technically start it wherever. It doesn't matter as long as the left hand is in an appropriate place as well. I'll show you what I mean by that. But let's keep going. Because since we know that this is G, we can kind of tell where everything else is, again, by reading that roadmap, right? So, G, what's above a G? An A, right? So, the first note, let's see here, is right above that line. Right above that line. So therefore, it's got to be an A. Because what's above a G? It goes G, and then it starts from the beginning again. A, right? Then A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And starts from the beginning. A, again. So, above that G is an A. So the first note has to be an A. But there's the key signature, and it happens to have a flat where the A is supposed to be. So that means that the first note is not an A, but an A flat. So instead of playing an A, we'd go down a half step, because that's what a flat means. It just goes down 1 step to that A flat. So, again, the key signature helps us determine what notes are flatted, what notes are in that half step below. So from G, we could write all of the letters out, right? We could go A, B, C, D, E, but the top one is probably the most important one, just because it's relative to the one on the bottom, which we're gonna get to in a second. So again, this one, the top bar say bar. Ooh, sorry. Whatever. Top bar is going to be F. Again, just this top line is what I'm talking about. This line that I'm tracing with my pencil. That line is considered F. Again, just by doing the alphabet, we can make that assumption, right? So it goes G, A, B, C, D, E, F. And there's no flat on the F line, so it means that it's not flatted. But in general, right, that's gonna be every single treble clef is gonna still be the same, no matter what. Like, even if there's a key signature in front of it or not, it doesn't matter, because no matter what, this line will always be G, this top line will always be F, and then you can make your assumptions of what comes next after and what comes before, because again, say we have a G, there's a note behind the line, below the line, I mean. So like it would be right here on this line, on this space, I mean. So what does that mean? Well, we just go backwards. So again, we have G, find G, just go one note back to F. So we go behind us, we go lower to the F. And again, it doesn't, this is not, this shouldn't be difficult. But I understand, again, there's a lot of lines, there's a lot of spaces, so we come up with like acronyms. For example, the lines are in the treble clef. The lines, again, I'm talking about the lines, right? So the bottom line is going to be E, the next line is going to be G, and then the next line is going to be, good boy, B, and the next line is D, and then the last line, which we just discovered, is F. So, acronym for E, G, B, D, F, that a lot of people use is every good boy deserves fudge. But yeah, so again, every good boy deserves fudge. So those are the lines, and then the spaces would be face, F-A-C-E, F-A-C-E. So again, so for example, this line would be every, and then this one would be the start, the space would be the start of F, face, which is F, every F, and then good, and then A, and then boy, and C, and deserves, and E, and then fudge. It's as simple as that. Again, it's not crazy hard to learn. But again, I feel as though some of my students really need this. So again, this is just the treble clef, I know. But the same rules and things apply to the bass clef. And again, the only two clefs we'll be learning is pretty much treble clef and bass clef. There's another clef. There's many. I want to say like 2 or 3. I guess not many, but there are other clefs that do exist, like treble clef. that moves around, and or tenor clef, not treble clef, I meant tenor clef, that moves around and depends on where this weird little middle part is. But wherever the middle part is C, essentially. So again, it has its own quirks, has its own issues, but at the end of the day, it's as simple as, if you really want to, looking it up. But I'm also here to teach you those things. Obviously, I'm your teacher. But you need to integrate this into your practice. You need to be able to get sheet music, and just practice sight reading. Just give yourself like 2 minutes in the day. Shouldn't be that hard. Constantly practice sight reading. For example, if I were to just sight read this right now, it would be what? A flat to a B flat. So again, not the prettiest thing. It was all right. Not great. But it's how the song goes, you know? It's not great, but again, sight reading can be hard, again, if you don't know the time, signature, or anything like that, but again, so like, sorry. It doesn't have to be amazing things that you're sight reading. It just has to be able for you to read. You know what I mean? So let's move on to the bass clef. So the bass clef has its own properties and things. Right here, right on this line, where this big circle is and where the 2 dots are, because you'll see 2 dots. If I can get it. Yeah, between the 2 dots, there's a line that represents F. And the bottom line now represents G. So we're doing this kind of flip-floppy thing where like the one that's kind of being represented and has a lot of markers on it is F. And the one on the bottom line, instead of the top line, like how G has F on the top line, F is going to have the G on the bottom line. And again, from there, you can make your assumptions and whatever of where this goes, right? So it goes F, say F goes up 1 note to G. It goes F, G, right? So the next letter is G. So then you just go up 1 note. And then again, if we were on a note that was below G or above G, we just think, all right, what's below G? Oh, it's F. So then if it was on this space, there was a note here on the space below G, then it would be F. But if it was above, say like over here, right there. Yeah. Then it would be A, right? No. Yeah. Yeah, because what's right above G, right? It's A in this system. And again, the flats tell you which ones are flatted, but you can also look at it as, you can write them out because you can look at them and be like, oh, this is a B flat, an E flat, an A flat, and a D flat. So the things that are constantly flatted are B, E, A, and D. So that means I need to play B flat, E flat, A flat, and D flat every time I see them. So that's not hard. Just every time it shows a B or an E or an A or a D, you just played the note right below it on the half step, right? Again, A flat instead. B, and that's G, sorry. A flat instead. B flat instead, so. Again, this should not, this will help you in the future. So now that we covered the bass clef and how it has its own acronyms as well. So again, every line has it's G. Every line is G, B, D, F, A. Good boys deserve feeling athletic. I don't know. You can make your own acronyms to do this kind of memory, right? But again, these lines are now changed to GBDFA. And then the spaces are now A, C, E, G, ASIG. And again, you can make your own acronyms. So for the bass clef specifically, good, belts, don't, fickle, adjacently, I don't know. Good boys don't feel athletic, or good butterflies deserve flying aerobically. I don't know. It doesn't matter. The main point is that you know that the lines are gonna go from bottom to top. GBDFA. GBDFA. Yeah, and then the spaces will go ASIG, or I'll make your own acronym about that. And then the treble clef has every good boy deserves fudge and face. So, again, something that will help you. But when it comes to actually playing sheet music and being able to do these things, that's on you. You have to practice. You have to actually grab your sheet music that you have and start practicing those notes and how to read them and what to play. Again, I can't do that for you because eventually, you're not gonna always take piano lessons with me. You're gonna have to do this by yourself, and if you can't do that by yourself, then what's the point of taking piano lessons? But again, I'm not asking you to play it perfectly. I'm not even asking you to play it in the right time. I'm just asking you to see what the notes are and how they move and like in what positions they're in, how that helps you read and play music, which again is something that I want you to achieve and why I'm showing you this video, because at the end of the day, I'm here to teach you, right? So let's continue. Now, we have these notes, right, that are way above, like this one, right there, way above. So we know that the first line for both of them, if we were to do like a note here or a note here on this one, for example, this one or this one, if we put a note there like this, we know that's C, because these two clefs connect in middle C. So, for example, say that this is C. This is middle C. This note here, right? That's like one line below. Again, if you were to do the math, right? Every good boy, this is E. Below E on the space is what? E, D. And then one more below the D is a C, right? Even on the piano, E, D, C, right? Now, if we were to do, so we know that that's C. Again, middle C. Now, same thing with here. We know that this is F. We go F, G, A, G, A. So A is the top line, then B, C, right? I'm not playing the accidentals right now, but just in general, if we're thinking about it on a piano. And if there were no accidentals, if the key signature wasn't there, we just say, oh, the line up here is C again. So go to A, then the space right here would be B, and then we'd go to C on that line. And that's how we know that note is C. So both of these connect at C, or the C. It doesn't matter, whichever C. But again, it depends on where you start, on the right hand and the left hand. But they both connect at middle C. Both connect at a C, no matter what. So then this note, we're above it by 2 notes. So this line would be C, right? But then we have to go even higher. So we move up C to D, which is 1 note above, one on the space, right? We gotta go one more, because it's 2 notes above the C. So we can tell that this line, when it's 2 lines above, is E. And we can tell even more by the key signature that it's specifically E flat. So when I see this note, I would be playing E flat. Because again, E's are flatted, right? B flat, E flat, A flat, and D flat are in this key signature. But this note in particular is an E. And it happens to be an E flat because of the key signature. And that's how we figure out these extra lines and all this stuff, right? Because even if we see extra lines, we just keep going through the alphabet. Even if there was a line above this, then it would be, this is E. If there was a space, then that would be F. And then a line above that, and that would be G. it would be this G specifically. But we want the left hand to play it, so we can't use that. So we have to use the bass clef to make sure that the left hand is playing that note, right? Because the bass clef is the left hand, the treble clef is the right hand. So again, I hope that makes sense. So that's how we deal with notes going higher, even higher than they're supposed to in some cases, and even lower, because again, we can do the exact opposite thing, where it's instead of C, we're going down to, I don't know, say what's below G. Oh, it's gonna be F, and it needs to go even lower, so it'd be like a line right here. That note would be E as well, E flat in this case, again with the key signature if I put it in, but it would be E, F, G, right? Because there's space would be F, then the line would be G. So again, key signatures, things like this, sight reading, it takes time. It's not something that can be done overnight. And it can only be done if somebody wants to do it, right? Again, so it's hard to think like, okay, I just want somebody to learn sight reading in a few seconds. Like, yeah, you can learn how to sight read in a few seconds with this video that I'm making. Again, not seconds, minutes. But can you have a piece in front of you and just start playing it right away because you just learned this method of how to sight read? No, it takes time. It takes time to memorize where all these notes are and what, again, it repeats over and over again. So you have the ability to go in and be like, okay, this is G. You could label all of them if you wanted to. It didn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to you, really, because, like, at the end of the day, you're going to be playing things you want to play. It matters to Nizma or, like, something similar in that aspect of, like, a competition or something. I'm sure they'd take off points if they saw that you have all these letters written out of the piece, or even just like the letters on the staff itself, like I'm doing. And I'm not saying that I do it every time with my sheet music. Of course I don't, but there's no shame in practicing that and like writing out all these letters and having the ability to do this and practice it. There's no shame. There's no problem with it. That's how musicians learn. That's how people learn. So please, I want you to try this on any sheet music. You can print it anywhere. You can print any song. It does not matter as long as you have the sheet music for it. Just learn a new song that way. Pick a key, doesn't matter again. And again, just try to keep with the time. And try to do it right? Because you're trying to do the song justice, but you need to be able to read music fluently, and to do that instantly, again, is hard, but you have to practice. So yeah, again, 40 Finger Ensemble is the name of the piece that I'm showing you right now. I guess this is a warm-up, nothing crazy, but at the end of the day, it's something that needs to be used for you. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you understand it. Yeah, so bass clef, treble clef. I'm trying to think if I missed anything. how to read key signatures, again, with sharps and flats. If the sharps are just the opposite way, right? A flat is down a half step, a sharp is up a half step. So instead of playing C, you're gonna move to the black note, C sharp, instead of B, just B, right? If you wanted to play a C flat, it would be B. Because again, we're just moving a half step down. Nobody's gonna say, play C flat. There's no real key signature that's like that. There's some, I guess, if we go into the really wacky ones, but the main point is, again, you can't just be expected to know all this. And I feel like I've taught this concept before of how to read music, but maybe it didn't stick, maybe it didn't land, maybe you were a little confused and you need a refresher. So that's why I'm making this video. And I hope that makes sense, and I hope you gleaned something from it. Again, I'm not expecting you to, read music every day or practice reading music every day. It would be nice, but again, I don't have those expectations for my students, because again, I think that is a lot of pressure. I think that is a lot. But again, that's the only way you will learn these things, and with practice. And that's all I can say, is that you should practice every day. And there are students who can read music fairly well and are at a young age because they use this method. So yeah, so I hope this helps, and I hope you understand, and I hope you have a great day.